Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
Hello and welcome to a special series on the Tata Social Enterprise Challenge, a joint initiative with the Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta. Now I'm here at the gorgeous IIM Calcutta campus, where the brightest social entrepreneurs in India are vying for the top positions. Now, social entrepreneurship plays an important role in building a sustainable society, and in today's fast-paced world, it is a vital tool for achieving social inclusion. Let's find out more.
Come up with a water series.
In its fourth year now, the Tata Social Enterprise Challenge provides a platform to support, nurture and reward initiatives that seek to impact lives across the Indian social spectrum.
Urine and feces both goes inside, and it still works without order because of the climatic conditions.
The competition received over 200 proposals from social entrepreneurs in India and beyond. 20 shortlisted contestants were invited to present their innovative ideas to a panel of judges. These early-stage projects were assessed for their business model, social impact and sustainability.
Urea is actually put in rice fields using urea broadcasting. Urea is actually thrown into the fields like this, and which leads to huge losses. However, there is an alternative technique called urea deplacement or UDP. In UDP, urea is compressed into balls, and then these balls are pushed into the soil at a regular spacing. Manual UDP requires a lot of labor. Hence, we have developed the world's first successful powered UDP applicator. So basically, it's a very easy to use machine. It is self-powered, self-propelled and self-powered to turn as well.
But I want to know your business model. Yeah? How are you making money?
Sure. So what we want is a rental model. So basically on the first level, we are talking about the awareness already existing for this technique amongst the government bodies, amongst fertilizer companies, and they are willing to propagate it. So for the first 2 years, we'll be targeting them, and eventually after that we want to reach the fertilizer retailers, because they can buy the machine, they can rent it out to the farmer.
It is an augmentative and alternative communication device built for people suffering from paralysis and motor neuron diseases. It has a LCD screen over here and a microphone over here. You display a pattern of alphabets on the LCD screen, and whichever alphabet you want to select, you take feedback from the user's breathing intensity whether they want to select that alphabet or not, and once you are done constructing the entire word, it plays the MP3 file of that word from a database of 64,000 words that we have.
We fabricated the first prototype in July, and then we fabricated the second prototype just 5 days before coming over here. And I'm terribly sick right now because of flu and all those things. But yeah, it has been fun because that's how an entrepreneur works, right?
We are Copper, a social enterprise which brings metalworking artisans into the mainstream by design intervention, as the traditional products of these artisans have lost relevance in contemporary markets.
So are the artisans employee of Studio Copper, or?
We train the artisans in our particular designs, and those designs then we place orders for those, and those are given to us.
We've been doing the business for say 2 years now, and we've been looking at it internally. What the world thinks of us is what came to us with this interaction.
So what if I told you we could save thousands of lives every year here in India with just refrigerator magnets and a laser pointer? Our company is DDG, and our flagship product is the rapid assessment of malaria. So we came up with a solution, RAM, which is a reusable, purely mechanical, portable device that can diagnose people faster, more accurately, and a fraction of the cost of current solutions.
If you introduce your device in the market, it can replace the existing device?
Yes, so it can do both primary care, and it can also go out into the field because it doesn't require any user.
My name is Rikzen and I'm from Ladakh. At the conceptual stage, it's called dry toilet for Ladakh. When we're installing, we don't need to dismantle the traditional toilet. We just install this part and the lower this part. So there's a sand inside, and there's this right now for the model is big. but otherwise the system is going to be something like this. So the surface is designed in a way like when a person urinates, it goes like this and it comes. Okay. So most of the water will go from here, and this you can put inside underground, or you can use it for a urea.
The product that I am designing is for different location and different environment, but eventually like people were showing interest, and engages like I think were quite interested in it.
We basically flower cycle waste from the temples into lifestyle products. We became a legal entity in May, and every day as of now we recycle about 500 kgs of flowers from there. There are about 13 temples and 3 mosques in Kanpur. Everything is done through like women self-help groups, and we export all our products to Coop, Migros and Vidal in Germany and Switzerland. Like in India we started selling in September, but the Indian sales constitute only 1.5% of the overall sales. And these are our products. These are the sticks and stone cones. This is the organic fertilizer. This package is made up of seed paper. Yeah. No, it's all natural. My experience with the judges was that it went good, and to be a little more calmer during the presentations.
All of them, the common factor is very, very passionate. They want to take it forward. And some of the ideas which we saw are like very unique, very innovative. We also see participants from outside India who are coming here and trying to develop business out of India. That is also something very new, and we are really impressed about that.
It's time for a short break, but when we come back, we find out more about the idea behind the initiative. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching the Tata Social Enterprise Challenge, a joint initiative with the Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta. Now, to find out more about the idea behind the initiative, I have with me today Mr. Atul Agarwal. He's the Vice President of Corporate Affairs at Tata Services, and Ashok Banerjee, the Director of IIM Calcutta's Innovation Park. Gentlemen, welcome. So now, we are in the 4th edition of this challenge after all. Can you talk to us a little bit about the evolution of this program over the years?
We have seen growing numbers. So over the last 4 years, we have about 700 odd final impact, validated impact proposals. The registrations are many more. But in addition to the growing numbers, even more importantly, there are a couple of other aspects. The bigger aspect is the fact that the quality and the stage of the development of a specific venture is now higher and better. Sort of next stage, rather than being pure ideas as they were there possibly in the year 1 when we started off. The fact that IIM Calcutta has actually taken many people for incubation means that there are people who are whose ideas are strong enough, whose ventures or prototypes are strong enough to be taken forward to the next stage, and many of them, I understand, even got the funding.
And I just want to add one more thing here is, if you look at contests now in India, typically on the startups, it is mostly dominated by IoTs, Internet of Things, portals, apps, etc. But here you can see a difference. Here we are talking about brick and mortar, physical, technology-driven interventions. So you have a very good mix of pure internet-based solutions and technology and brick and mortar production kind of solutions. So that's why it's another cultural and qualitative shift.
That's very important. Tell us a little bit about this aspect of incubation, and how does it really impact the participants? How does it help them grow?
So we started our incubation journey with Tata Social Enterprise Challenge contestants. And when we took them, we didn't give them any fund, because we didn't have fund to give them. But we provided them connects, mentorship support, taking them to the government departments, kind of opening the door, if you like. So those kind of supports we have provided. And over these 3 editions, because 4th edition is happening now, we have incubated out of this Social Enterprise Challenge 5 plus incubators, out of which 2 have moved out because we have a period. They have grown, they have gone into different states, they have raised money, also got bank loan, which is a good certificate that it's a stable model. So it's good, it's happening well.
And you know, we've also met some very interesting people on ground through the event who used to be in the corporate world, and now they've chosen to shift their career into the space of social entrepreneurship. So what can we really do to help these people, help these professionals and encourage them to enter this space?
In the program itself, actually we have increased the number of phases or number of sort of interventions which we take through the program. So while we started what was only essentially a challenge where people submit their nominations, but 2 additional legs which got added for last 2 years is one of the leg of round tables, where the people in the same space on a specific theme are brought together and the various aspects related to that space are discussed on. And when we do the seminars, which is seminars on thinking social, which means you are actually telling people what you could be considering as a possible avenue for your future sort of careers or future paths. Now these people have not yet made their career choices. They are in the early stages of making their career choices. They will be corporates of tomorrow. That's a normal expectation for them to be, but they also have another aspect to look at it, whether that's a space they want to consider. They may consider today, they may consider tomorrow, they may consider day after. That's perfectly fine. So all these then further also increase the visibility and the awareness about this being as a possible space which people can engage with.
Fantastic. It's been a pleasure meeting you once again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is good.
The competition continued and participants had 5 minutes to present their ideas.
Our solution comes. The solution we propose is ODR, Online Dispute Resolution, meaning providing ADR services such as mediation, arbitration, negotiation in an online medium. The workflow is ready, the product interface is ready. The product validation is done from the lawyers and arbitrators in Calcutta and Delhi. We have spoken to Delhi Dispute Resolution Center, DDRC, who is going to provide us with arbitrators for the first 3 months. An association with the Small Causes Court of Calcutta is being done, under which they are going to give us 35 of their old disputes.
Okay, how large is the offline arbitration and dispute resolution market today in India? You're going to tap into that. You're going to push some of that online. Am I right?
Yes.
So how large is that market, and why is that not being able to speedily resolve a lot of the pending cases?
Arbitration is not being tried for small civil claims till now. It is only being tried for like 1 crore cases and all. That's why we are working more on the referral system. If you have a dispute, you won't come to ODR ways. You go to the court. If the court says that, look, your case matches these 5 criteria and it can be solved through this ODR platform, you will think, oh, it is the part of the judiciary and it's integrated with the judiciary. So your inherent trust comes in first.
We modify shipping containers which are retired from use into infrastructure for social sector organizations that are trying to work in remote and rural areas in India. So why should we use shipping container infrastructure? What we offer is a completely off-grid solution. So these guys can take our buildings and place them literally anywhere in the country. It's transparent, the cost of it is transparent because it's built in our factory in Delhi. Every container that we use recycles 1.3 tons of steel, plus it's built in a very short time frame. So say a fifth of the time it takes to build a regular building, and it's about 70% of the cost of regular brick and mortar.
It's not just questions, they're giving you excellent feedback on what you need to focus on, what problem areas you might have in the future. So it's a great interaction. It's not just questions. I think it's a great conversation that you're having with these judges and with the faculty at IIM Calcutta.
We take scanners, of which Rebecca can show, and we show these villagers how to digitize their art. We take that digital art and then we upload it to the cloud. And we take that database of digital assets and we show it to customers around the world, B2B and B2C. You know, sometimes in these pitch competitions, it's really easy to get caught up in strictly the numbers. We make this much money, we this much growth percentage. But really, in social ventures, it's about the human story, too.
We'll take a short break now. But on the other side, mentoring of India's next generation of social entrepreneurs. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Tata Social Enterprise Challenge, a joint initiative with the Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta. Now, every organization faces its share of challenges, and social enterprises are no exception. More so, in fact, as they are a growing community within India. This is where mentorship comes in and plays a crucial role.
We've been incubating companies since last 15 years.
We connect startups to mentors and investors.
Access to capital is one of the main constraints that social entrepreneurs face. With this in mind, organizers invited investors from the social enterprise landscape and beyond to interact with participants. They shared their suggestions as to what makes for winning ideas from the investor point of view.
Help us to understand that what you think that these are social, I mean, as per your definition or criteria. Okay, because sometimes people think that if you are not walking in the villages, then you are not social. So, I want your take on that.
For example, with Michael and Susan Dell Foundation, we actually raised funds from them to invest. So, it's very, very clear. The family income, the household income has to be $1 lakh a year. The money that they pay out on school fees is to be upper capped at 500 rupees a month. So, you basically have metrics that you can clearly go out and measure whether that particular community is actually aligned to that. So, in general, I would think that I would consider any enterprise actually serving the economically poor as a social enterprise.
So my first question is that for companies that are pre-revenue, so like let's say hardware, IoT kind of companies that are making hardware, and they do require funding to basically take it to the next level where they start selling a commercially viable product. How do you value those companies when you're talking to investors?
I think the best way to do it, the safer way to do it is to go through a convertible structure, use a milestone-based tranche, etc. I think the point that is important is the valuation. If you do a plain equity valuation today, you should be able to justify that valuation when you're doing the next round.
My question is related to the skills that should be available in a startup.
Obviously, all the skills cannot reside with one particular individual, which is why in most cases investors prefer if you have a set of co-founders who with complementing skill sets. So if somebody's really managing the entire technology bit, there's somebody else who's managing the investor and the finance bit, and you have somebody who's managing the go-to-market strategy with the marketing/sales kind of expertise behind them. That really should cover the three really basic I would say tripods of which are required at the very first outset. Even if you do not have all the three, even if you've got a mentor who's helping you with one aspect of things, it's fine, but the more the better really.
I have a question about, the Silicon Valley lexicon seems to have come into social enterprises in terms of scaling up. How do you truly define scaling in terms of a social enterprise?
You cannot make serious change happen in this country of 1.2 billion people if we don't scale our enterprises. I think the big challenge is entrepreneurs are scared about scale because we haven't been part of scaling activity. If you've been part of that scaling activity, fear doesn't take you. So in my mind, it's today's worry against scale is an excuse. It's fear that is riding us. So if I think there is the right skills, we wouldn't worry about scale.
Back in the hot seat, the participants continued with their presentations.
Over the last 4 months, we have raised 25 lakh rupees for 20 different non-profits. We've organized successful charity events in partnership with Harvard and Dalberg. In fact, Aarti was one of the attendees there. We've organized marathon partnerships. We did disaster relief for Chennai, where we raised 5 lakhs in 2 weeks from the NRI community primarily. And big corporates such as Wockhardt and Godrej have given to us through their CSR platform, including interesting crowdfunding matching programs from their CSR budget.
I think more than payroll giving, I think given USA has 75%, there are enough Indians in USA who earn enough, who of all causes, who are used to this 75% phenomenon, would rather give back to their own country, and they have probably been waiting for a platform which is credible, known, etc. What are you waiting for?
I think that was a brilliant suggestion because having lived myself abroad in the US, UK, Singapore and Hong Kong, I know that Indians care deeply about this country, whether they were born and raised in India and had moved abroad or those who were born and who are living abroad continuously. They are looking to give to high quality non-profits in India and getting feedback reports that their money is utilized properly.
We are developing the world's first hand-crank defibrillator that would be priced at 1/4 the price of the global brands. In our solution, this is, you can, in 12 seconds, you can power it up and deliver the shock, and this is patented.
Feedback related to running of the pilots really closely with the strategic partners that we are trying to establish, and
running it in parallel. I guess that was the biggest feedback that we had from this interaction, and that's very valuable for us.
It's trying to address the learning crisis in rural India by providing quality education while simultaneously creating or developing skills among women to help them become micro-entrepreneurs at the bottom of the pyramid.
What is that innovation that you guys are bringing as a core? Is it the content? Is it the delivery? Is this what exactly is it?
We are saying that it has to do with the delivery. So we always are saying that this is our ultimate goal, is to create a positive change in the final mile education delivery. The judges were asking really the hard questions, like how you're going to scale, how you're going to use the money. So these were some of the key questions that if an external person is asking, a social entrepreneur is going to think.
The young people with their new ideas, especially on a technology platform, can truly be transformational and help solve seemingly unsolvable, intractable social problems while having a business model as well. I do sincerely hope that each of them goes out and makes a business, viability for himself or herself. It will truly change the face of rural India.
Well, that's it on this episode of the Tata Social Enterprise Challenge, a joint initiative with the Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta. But stay tuned for more as the quest for India's most promising social enterprise continues. Until then, from the entire team, many thanks for watching.
Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.